Listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome to another episode of the Scoreboard. We are opening a new chapter in Scoreboard history today. We are there, live from the start, from the opening whistle of the new XFL. We have JJ here because he's the resident XFL expert. It's his favorite sports league of all time. We obviously have Smokey Rameriz here. Guys, are you hyped for this?
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to this. We'll have 4 games, and Smokey, I try to, you know this very well, I already know, but JJ didn't know the concept of a Super Bowl slump, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you know, and now with this, it doesn't exist really anymore. It's not there. A Super Bowl slump is when after the Super Bowl, you realize we now have half a year to go without football being played, and This XFL is just it's a heaven sent because this carries us throughout that entire period until the NFL draft. Yes. We still have the dog days of the summer where you either watch baseball or actually leave the house, pick your poison. But the bridge towards the draft is filled with XFL, so that's wonderful. And we're going to talk about this. We have 4 matchups. That means 8 teams. And if you don't know, for the viewers, if you're not familiar with the XFL that much, maybe you don't know the rules or exactly how it differs from the NFL. We've talked about it in previous scoreboards, and there's info sites on the internet, the XFL.com website, where that sort of stuff is outlined. So you should definitely, I highly recommend checking it out because there's a lot of interesting, sensible rule changes in our opinions that sets us apart from the NFL, and why we all have decent faith in the fact that this could work out this time. JJ, how about you take this over and let us hear what kind of games we have this year?
Well, I guess we're gonna go through those in order in which they are going to be played, which means we're starting off at Saturday, February 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern, of course. Yes. Seattle Dragons at DC Defenders. So the spreads puts the Dragons at +7.
So what we're gonna do for this one, also experimental, we're gonna do another prediction game. All 3 of us, presumably, against each other, like we did for the NFL season. We're gonna be picking against the spread, which is probably gonna make it harder. In the NFL, we had a decent rate. What did we get? Like around 70%, 65-70%, right?
70.
I think
a little over 70, I believe, by the end.
Right? Yeah, we did really well, and we had the same exact result too. So we'll pick us against the spread and see how well we can do. First week, I would argue, is going to be the hardest. But Smokey, bet sides have the Dragons +7, so DC Defenders are 7 point, 1 touchdown, 1 extra point favorite. What's your pick looking like here?
I think these games are going to be closer than people expect, especially for the first season. The first game, people are. Teams are filling each other out, and I'm actually kind of glancing over the rosters here. We have, the Defenders have Tyree Jackson. Eli Rogers, that wide receiver. That's nice.
Some of the names you definitely recognize
Jones, from. Yeah. I bet Cordell's probably going to be starting.
Yeah.
You know what?
Probably, yes.
I can't pick the Dragons against or with a 7-point difference. I'm going to go with the Defenders here to cover that.
Taking DC. That's all right. Interesting. JJ, what do you have?
So you're saying the Defenders win by more than 7 is what you're saying.
That's what he's saying.
That's
half pick.
See, this would have been a lot easier if we didn't have to do the spread.
Yes, but we want to do the spread because of challenges. Everything's coming together. We don't know the teams, we don't know the league, and we got the spread.
Well, so the Seattle Dragons are universally projected to be the worst team in the entire league.
Thank God. No one likes Seattle. You play football, you're in Seattle. Bad omen.
So the Defenders, I think, were somewhat more middling in there where they were projected to be. So that leaves the Defenders, of course, as a favorite, which the spread reflects. 7 points is not even that much of a lead. It's not a
big spread.
So I'm gonna say week 1 we're gonna have as pretty much the exact opposite of what Smokey said, where I think we're going to see a lot of very one-sided matches as the teams try to, for the first time ever in a real game, try to like figure out what actually works and what doesn't, both in terms of like players as well as maybe certain ideas like the different point conversions and certain plays maybe, because while the teams have now been established for a while and they've gone through minicamp and later training camp, the rosters are only now solidifying. And so I think that a lot of the depth charts are going to be adjusted after week 1. And so I'm going to say that the games are going to be maybe more one-sided oftentimes. And since the Dragons are supposed to be so bad, I'm going to take the Defenders -7 here.
So they both have DC. On the logical, argumentative side, I'm with Smokey. I think this is... You've thrown together an entire league of fresh teams. This is like a high school team, college team, starting up a football program in year 1. They are terrible and usually not very well coordinated or managed. And this is, in a way, how this entire league looks like. Yes, they've been through one training camp, one half of an off-season, if you want to say, together as a team, but not a lot of things have been implemented and not the full playbook has probably been opened up, and it's tough to really get an entire team working like that within one half of a year, basically, which means that in generally defense develops and is installed faster, which is why I'm expecting low-scoring games. I'm thinking that we're going to see defensive heavy, we're going to see run heavy, but we're going to see electric players emerge. Because of all of this, I'm going to be picking. I'm actually going to take the Seattle +7 because I'm expecting low-scoring games, and there's really no big inclination. We haven't seen this at all. Everything that we have so far in terms of projections and odds is purely on paper. It's purely based on the names of the players and the coaches that are currently on those teams. And we haven't actually seen that team play once as a cohesive unit. If there's a big spread like this, I will definitely take the team with the points. So Seattle +7 is going to be my pick against both of you. But that's what makes it interesting. Second game, the LA Wildcats versus the Houston Roughnecks.
Yep, and what's the spread on this one?
The spread is Roughnecks -5.5.
-5.5. All right. What do we have here? Wildcats are looking at Jalen McClendon, Chad Kanoff, Josh Johnson. I bet that's going to be their starter.
That's the name, yeah.
Yeah. Nick Novak is their kicker.
I mean, they traded Luis Perez away as the only team that traded their allocated quarterback.
So
that shows confidence in their
Josh
starter.
Johnson,
Yeah. Let's see. The Wildcats are +7.
+5.5.
+5.
Oh, 5. Yeah, I was looking at the last one actually. +5.5. I think I'm gonna go with the Wildcats here.
All right, you're taking the points there for them. Okay.
I really don't really know what's gonna happen, but yeah, I'm just looking at the rosters and trying to add up talent here and just make a wild guess, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Wildcats +5.
Not easy.
+5.
JJ, what do you got?
Now, I'm just saying this from memory. I'm not sure if this is true, but you said the thing about the defense being arguably maybe the strong
It's easier
unit
to
in the
install.
beginning.
History would say that
Yes.
And
if we look at NFL training camps, defense usually will beat the offense and will be further progress.
and if memory serves, and don't quote me on this, but I think that the Wildcats are the only ones where their head coach is a defensive guy.
All right.
So that would maybe suggest that they have systematically maybe a little bit of a favor here. They also have the points on their side. And as I said, based on trading away their allocated quarterback, they seem very confident in their quarterback situation. Otherwise, they would have kept the generally maybe implicitly assumed number one guy. So it seems like they have their stuff in order. From what I've heard, the Roughnecks are also a very solid team. From what has been seen in like training camps and practice scrimmages and stuff like that. But I think I'm also gonna go with the Los Angeles Wildcats here. By the way, the second professional football team with the name Los Angeles Wildcats, because there was one team with the name like way back when.
So for me, this is, despite the reasonably big spread, kind of tough to pick. because I like the Roughnecks roster a lot. Now, what you said about the quarterback situation, I like Josh Johnson. I remember him.
Yeah, me too.
He came in as a very mobile guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And was he ever at Cleveland at the same time Kyle Shanahan was, or did they miss each other? I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I'd have
but
to
it
look
was
that up.
around.
It
was around the same area.
Yeah,
he came in as a mobile quarterback. I remember running the read option with him in Madden 25 when I was assigned the Browns and stuff. So definitely remember him as a dynamic playmaker. Not the greatest thrower, but let's face it, the greatest thrower would be in the XFL. So I think he's going to be one of the players to look out for. Given the spread, I will tag LA with the points. I'll take Houston to win the game in a close one, but it's probably going to be by a field goal or something. So I'll take the 5.5. Next one, Tampa Bay Vipers. I think that's Smokey's favorite team, and the New York Guardians. Vipers are minus 2.5.
Minus 2.5, and I would definitely take them to hold on to that lead.
All right.
Yeah, I think Aaron Murray. I'm looking over the Guardians roster right now, but I definitely think Aaron Murray has what it takes to show up in this league. Matt Mcgloin, I bet that's the old backup for the Raiders. I would imagine he's going to be their starter there, and
maybe
both
I don't
these
remember.
guys.
A lot of the starters have, by the way, been announced, but I don't remember which ones exactly were for the most part.
Just looking over, he's the biggest name out of there. I mean, of course, he could have got shown up in practice, and I probably didn't need to do some more homework here. But we'll be getting more in depth on this league as it goes on. But just if I were to put purely Aaron Murray versus Matt Mcgloin, I'm picking Aaron Murray every time. They both have backup work in the NFL. And overall, I like the Vipers, so going with the Vipers.
No, JJ.
Well, the spread seems to indicate that the Vipers are favored to win the game.
Yes, slightly. The smallest spread of the weekend.
Yeah, but by virtue of the spread being small, you would assume that the point difference in a lot of football games at the end of the day is more than 2.5, especially in a league where you can have bigger conversions if you need them. Although that might also be an argument for lower scores because
they might fail more often.
Team from behind might be able to also just barely get ahead again. That being said, with the favorite there just being by less than a field goal, I'm just gonna go with the Vipers as well because that just seems like a solid choice here. I'm not as in depth knowledge on the players as you guys do, but I'm just gonna go with that as well.
Yeah, I also remember Matt Mcgloin from the NFL. He's a grizzled veteran. He's got a lot of experience under his belt. You gotta wonder, though, if that might come through as an important factor in such a, I want to say, chaotic environment. First game of the season with a new team. Having that sort of veteran presence in the locker room is going to be very important, especially at the quarterback position. He's probably prone to make the least mistakes. I agree that Aaron Murray is probably the better player, probably the more talented player. But this is actually not that easy for me to pick. Especially with the spread being very small. I'm going to go with the slight favorites too. I'll take the Vipers and I'll just eat the 2.5. I think those types of spreads are more forgiving in this league, like JJ said, with the 2-point or 3-point conversion formats than they are in the NFL. And because it's big uncertainty anyway, small spreads mean a little bit less. So I'll take the Vipers as the slight favorites. And Smokey, by the way, after this you'll have to explain why they are your favorite team, but so will we, of course, when we get there, which is the last game, of course, the one and only St. Louis Battlehawks versus Dallas Renegades.
Battlehawks at plus 7.5.
Biggest spread of the week.
Yeah, got some action here. That actually makes it a little tougher. I mean, obviously, going into this league, everyone is probably most familiar with the players on the Renegade. Everyone's familiar with Bob Stoops. He was an outstanding coach at Oklahoma and actually took them to national titles. And we also are familiar with his favorite quarterback of his era, which is Landry Jones. But obviously, Landry Jones is not going to be playing, which looks like they're going to probably, just going over the roster, I would suppose they're going to put in Tony Dungy's son, which is Eric Dungy. I would imagine he's probably next in line from who I'm seeing here. The only other quarterback they have is Philip Nelson, so I'm guessing it's going to be Dungy playing quarterback. Over on the Battlehawks, we have Nick Fitzgerald, which everyone who's familiar with college football should know that. He was a great quarterback for Mississippi State. And I was really surprised that he didn't show up in the NFL, at least somewhere as a backup, and work his way up. But
Yeah, never seen him.
yeah, that's crazy. As good as he was at Mississippi State, yeah, it's really weird. Some injuries may have played a part in that. But they also have Tamu Jordan, which is a name most people are probably heard of at some point in time.
Who has, by the way, been named the starter. I can say that.
Has
much.
he? Tamu has?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow, Nick just getting the snub there. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with the Battlehawks to at least come within a touchdown. Yeah, with the Renegades, with their star quarterbacks not even going to be in there. We're going to see how the rest of the team does, obviously, but I'm going to go with the Battlehawks.
All right, JJ.
Yeah, first of all, as Alex said, the big spread is generally a factor here. We do, of course, have to deal with, from what I've heard, the least experienced quarterback in the entire league, or starting quarterback at the very least, in Jordan Tamu, I don't even think he played all of his college career. He played 2 seasons at Ole Miss, and he was somewhere else before then, but no professional experience. The only originally allocated quarterback without any pro experience. Relatively inconsistent in his throwing, but he did have some good rushing stats to go along with that, or at least decent rushing stats to go along with that. So that adds to that. And from what I also have heard people talk about, the Battlehawks, one of the tougher defenses in the league. That being said, they are oftentimes ranked as one of the weakest teams. I think a lot of people had them at the second lowest after the Dragons for chance to win it all. 7.5 points, week 1, with, as we said, defense having a bit of an advantage here, and again, the 7.5 points on top of that, I think I'll also take the Battlehawks.
I'll have to agree with a lot of what Jay just said. First of all, to the stars, I would have liked to see Nick Fitzgerald play.
Yes, me
I
too.
think I would have had a higher vote of confidence in the pick than I'm going to end up making anyway if he started. The fact that he doesn't makes me a bit uncertain, but not uncertain enough to turn down 7.5 points in week 1 in a league that we haven't seen a single game. That's, in my opinion, that's the easiest pick on this slate. The starting quarterback for Dallas is out. St. Louis are set to have a great defense. They have a strong defensive line, tall defensive line. I think they're going to be coached well, and I would have liked Nick Fitzgerald for more confidence, but I think with the spread being what it is, with all the uncertainties and the finding of identities that every team is going to have to do over the upcoming weeks, I think this is an easy pick. And for anyone who is betting, I think this is definitely the one that you should put some money on if you were so inclined.
You know what I just realized? I said something very wrong in the very beginning.
What did you say?
The time that I said was, of course, not in Eastern time. That was in Central European.
Yeah,
The site
that's
automatically
okay.
converts.
Yes.
Sorry.
That is correct. So you find your local time schedule on XFL.com.
This was
or
on
Sportsbook.
DraftKings.
Yeah,
Because
DraftKings.
by the way, as a side note for the viewer, of course, the spreads are taken off DraftKings Sportsbook as of the night of Wednesday.
Yes.
They were like less than 24 hours ago. They were slightly different, the spreads, and by the time this video comes out, they will probably be even different.
They might change again. Yeah, very volatile league. So another thing we have to talk about, I think, for one, how did we get to our teams? But also first, before we do that, maybe let's look at season long odds.
We have I've heard some sites have the records, but I've only found, just like very brief search, is just the championship odds.
Championships, yeah. So we're going to look at XFL Championship odds. They have the Dallas Renegades, this is FanDuel now, Dallas Renegades and New York Guardians, both equally favored plus 400. The Vipers, your team, Smokey, at 450. Defenders 500, Wildcats 600, and then the Roughnecks at 900. The Battlehawks at 1,000, and Seattle Dragons least favorite at 1,200.
And we can look at other sides too, but the progression is gonna be very similar.
My bookie has it similar. They have St. Louis and Seattle as equally unfavored, and they have Dallas at plus 275. So the progression is sort of similar there.
Yeah.
Favoritisms are lining up.
DraftKings also has the odds, and it just universally agreed upon. They all have Dallas as the most favored and Seattle as the worst.
Least favored.
I think they also all have Battlehawks as the second worst, and some of the other picks are very similar as well. Always like Guardians and Vipers very high up there. DraftKings has the Wildcats comparatively low, but overall very much consensus on a lot of those teams though.
So Smokey, why the Vipers? How did that come about for you?
3 reasons actually. For one, it's the it is. It's got to be the closest to where I am located. You know, and
I guess
you usually want to go with the team that's closest to
St.
you.
Louis isn't that much further.
I mean, we're talking
It's a bit.
13 hours compared to 5, 6. But it's the quarterback. I mean, I love Aaron Murray from his time at UGA. Great quarterback. And the other thing is, Florida teams have tended to do well in startup leagues for some reason. You know, not saying that's some magical formula that's going to make the Vipers win, but I wouldn't be surprised. So I'd say my number one reason is the quarterback, but 2 other are just alternate reasons.
I'm honestly not very surprised that it is specifically Aaron Murray, to be completely honest with you. So JJ,
yes,
how come the Battlehawks?
We both decided at one point in the podcast way back when, right after the team names were revealed, actually, and the logos. We looked at all of the team, locations, names, logos.
Speak for yourself.
And we then talked about, first of all, you basically hated everything anyways because they have NFL teams that you don't like most cities or states.
Yeah. Seattle is eliminated. I can't. How would I root for any Seattle or Dallas-based football team? It's just too much. I can't.
I figured you were gonna hate that one.
Yeah, you can't. How would I?
And generally, honestly, I don't have a huge stake in which team I was gonna pick. So one of the reasons was just that we decided, or kind of decided at that point, that it would be cool to root for the same team for once.
Yeah,
for sure. Not that there's not a lot of matches in the NFL where we don't root for the same team, but from league standpoint,
we did for one game in the NFL vehemently root for different teams, and it was the best game of the season.
Yes,
that was
dude.
Fun. Yes, that was at that Niners at Saints game.
Yeah,
that was one of the best games.
That was fantastic.
You know what was also crazy though?
What?
The game where the Falcons had their triple onside kick. Which I believe
that was Thanksgiving. That was Thanksgiving
Saints,
game. Yeah.
Right.
And we watched it with Smokey was there when we watched it.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a horrible game.
I'm just saying that it seems like the Saints are a lot of the great games that happen this season.
They always have 1 or 2 every year.
Although I'll tell you some great games that did happen were Falcons versus Saints the first time, and the Falcons versus 49ers. Those were
okay.
Those
the couple
great games.
The couple of fluke wins that you.
I was about to say just starts listing all the games that the Falcons won. Yeah. If we do this, then we're gonna be here for a while because I could also name all of the games that the Saints won.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but they suck.
Amateurs. The Falcons. I think the Falcons are the biggest underachiever though of the season. I don't think you should be talking that much. Maybe next year will be better, but we'll get into the NFL. But for me, of course, lifelong passion St. Louis Battlehawks fan. No.
Let me ask you this:
me,
who was your AFL or AAF team?
Oh, San Diego. Go Fleet. I'm still sort of miffed that they didn't make it. See, you always obviously try to go is there a Bay Area team, and if so, I'm a fan. If not, then San Diego's fine. LA and Seattle are never fine. Dallas is also never fine. So if none of that is filled, then you have to sort of expand your vision. So I can root for any Seattle football team. I can root for a Dallas football team. Probably not even any Texas football team. So I'm not doing any of that. I don't love the Guardians or the Defenders just from their logo designs.
Yeah, the Defenders have a really bad logo. That's crazy.
And
the
not that much.
The Guardians one's actually pretty cool.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the very militarized logos, honestly. But I'm gonna say honestly, my second favorite team is probably the Vipers, because that's really the only thing that's still left by elimination. Because I just mentioned 6 teams that I don't like for some reason. So if it weren't the Battlehawks, and I like the Battlehawks for one because there isn't an NFL team in St. Louis anymore. If the Rams were in St. Louis, I'd be a Vipers fan, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that.
You know, I kind of wish they would have had teams only in cities that didn't have NFL teams. That would have made it much more interesting. But
yeah, I would have liked that too, but it's a market problem.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think
Dallas and
there's
Houston.
8.
Yeah.
I don't think there's 8 good football markets that don't already have an NFL team.
It's tough to do. There is markets, but just not the biggest ones. Having a second team in Houston or Dallas is still more profitable
I think
than having
Birmingham.
I would have liked Birmingham or Montgomery something.
Yeah.
There's
Some of
definitely
these big
places to fill.
college town, Louisville. You know.
Yeah.
What is Kentucky doesn't
absolutely.
have a team at all. I'm sure Louisville
They don't.
Or Lexington would be a great place to have a pro team.
I'd argue for that. Maybe something in the Carolinas too, or Virginia.
Yeah.
But none of that happened. But
I mean, after the AF folded, I think taking over their biggest market would make sense, which was San Antonio. Just purely based on numbers.
No San Antonio team in this one.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of the other, like, proximately close teams, like maybe one of the other Texas teams, like, if they don't perform too well with, like, attendance and stuff, if they just move them.
The San Antonio Alamos. Wouldn't hate it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be down for it. But yeah, no, Battlehawks, because their logo's cool. If you turn it upside down, it
spells STL, yes.
It spells STL, which is short for St. Louis. I like the city now massively more since the Rams moved away from it, so I'm now neutral officially with the city of St. Louis. And I mean, sometimes, and this is where it's a bit dubious. It is only ever legal to say "Go Hawks" in the NFL offseason. So when the NFL's still going on, you have to specify Battlehawks because there might be problems. But now that there's an NFL,
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks is fine for the duration of the NFL offseason. So yes, that's my.
I like saying it during the NFL season mostly to mess with you.
That's not acceptable. We'll have to deal with that.
With the explicit implication that it's that I'm obviously not talking about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I just
Because
every
you better
time
not.
someone says it, I get that picture of Russell Wilson. He just signed his new contract and he's sending a little voice message out to everyone. It's like, we did it, Seattle. We got it. Go Hawks. Go to bed.
Absolutely.
As he's laying there
awful.
with his $1 billion wife.
Yeah, you don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah,
So no sea chicken, respect whatsoever on this show. Yeah, St. Louis Battlehawks for that reason. I'm hoping it's gonna be good though. It's gonna be really fun. I got Hawks, I got Vipers. That's my top 2 favorite teams, and those are really the 2 teams that I wouldn't mind winning. So
I agree.
I hope that's gonna go good. I think the Battlehawks could definitely overachieve given their odds, just because of what we pointed out with the dominant defense, and the strength of that right off the bat. And maybe we'll get a surprise at quarterback. But I'm really excited for this because it's so much new stuff, so much new to figure out. I can't wait until the games actually come by. We're going to see how stuff works, what the strategies actually look like. It's going to be fantastic.
It actually brings up a very interesting question, speaking of strategies, right? What do you guys think is going to be the most common point after touchdown conversion?
Yes. So you want to quickly explain how they are again?
Right, for the viewers that don't already know this.
Yeah.
After you score a touchdown, there's 3 different things you can do as opposed to the 2 things you can do in the NFL. You can line up at the 2-yard line and run what basically in the NFL like a 2-point conversion for 1 point. You can do the same thing from the 5-yard line for 2 points or from the 10-yard line for 3 points.
That means, for one, there is no extra point kick.
Yes.
And secondly, you can now score up to 3 points as an extra point.
And the only difference is the distance.
Yes, 2, 5, and 10 yards. So, To me, it depends on what the team or who the team is and what the consensus becomes as a call. If you're calling runs, you're going for 1. If the consensus is that you're going to pass, you're going to go for 2 from the 5. Because if you can score with a pass play from the 2, that same pass play can most likely score from the 5.
Oh, of course.
And the runs, not so much.
Depends on what tight ends you have. If they're a receiving tight end or
that too.
a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can ask the 7 teams in the league that do have tight ends about
I would
that.
argue, I would argue with a lot of the bootlegs and the play fakes. You actually give yourself a better shot of playing against stuff like cover 2 zones with that extra couple of yards from the 5. It's easier to run because you can use that back pylon more efficiently and actually stretch the high-low defenders down the field. So if you want to run that sort of stuff on second downs, on the extra points, you'll definitely go for 2 from the 5. I don't think we're going to see much going for 3 if not needed, if not in a comeback or to equalize the game. I don't think many people are going to take that risk. They'll take the 1 or the 2. But it really depends on the style of play calling, I think. What about you, Smokey?
Are you asking how do I like it overall?
Yeah, like what do you think is going to be the most likely? What's the distributions of the extra points? And yeah, how do you like the format?
Oh, I like it because I mean, in the NFL, we see these point afters are almost a given. If your team scores, you're pretty much chalking 7 points up right away.
Yeah.
Because there's a 95% chance you're getting that extra
touchdown
point.
is confirmed, we caught you commercial.
Yeah, but if you got a chance to go for 3, why not? Especially in a close game, which we're expecting these games to be kind of close, especially at least at first, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of teams go for 3 right off the bat. And that's going to be awesome. Like, if it were me, I would take the 3. I mean, 3 points is good for a point after.
But you gotta score a 4th and goal from the 10.
Yeah, of course. But, well, yeah, I guess you do have to look at how capable your receivers are in coverage.
I like the 2. I really like the 2-point conversion. I like the 2.
But you're still going to want to pass unless you have
call every pass
a monster quarterback. You still want to. You might want to follow up the fullback and get a little hole, but
you would think so, but like they don't do it in the NFL when they're at the 2-yard line. When at the goal line, people still pass.
It's usually
sometimes.
just a halfback dive.
Yeah, and still that doesn't happen as much as it used to. But I think if you're gonna pass, you like to go for 2. You could like on 5 yards generally you can call every pass play in your playbook. You don't. There's not many passes that are designed to go for less than 5 yards. Generally, that's usually where that starts. There's runs that are designed to go for 3 to 4 yards, like the fullback dives. An optimal execution, but not many passes are designed for that. And if you want to open up the play action game, it might actually be advantageous to work with more field than to go from the 2. So I like the 2-point conversion there. But we'll see how it turns out after this weekend. We'll definitely gain a lot of insight over these 4 games, and then next week we can talk about what happened, how we like the outcomes, how we like the system.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be an exciting phase. I love the fact that this exists. I think it's going to be amazing, and it's much better than not having any football until the draft and the combine. So definitely hyped for this. We made our predictions. Smokey, you're going to probably write them down, or we'll note them down somehow.
Yeah.
You could then next week inform us on how.
Let me make sure I have these right off the bat. I have the Defenders, the Wildcats, the Vipers, and the Battlehawks. Alex, you have the Dragons, and did you have Wildcats?
I have the Wildcats.
Okay, and you have Vipers and Battlehawks.
Correct.
JJ,
I have the
Wait, you have all the away teams?
Huh?
You have all the away teams?
I have the points everywhere except for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he has the road teams all around it. Great.
And you have Defenders, JJ.
Yes. Wildcats.
Okay.
Vipers and Battlehawks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
you have the
we
same
agree on everything but
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we disagreed on Seattle.
Yeah,
I'll take the big spread there. But
I
we'll
can't
see.
believe you actually picked Seattle, man. Come on.
I can't believe I picked Seattle. I don't hate the Dragons as much as I do the Seahawks yet. They haven't done anything disgusting.
Hey,
maybe they won't. they would give me a reason. I don't know if they're terrible, then I might not even have a reason to hate them.
Hey, while we were on pounding it in from the 1 yard line, what happened to Trent Richardson? Why is he not in this league?
I don't know. Last time I've seen Trent Richardson, was he on Oakland or was he on he was on Indianapolis once, but was he on Oakland?
Yeah, I think Oakland was the last stop after the Browns
I think
Colts.
so, yeah.
But
I have no idea. There's just these pictures of him where there's like a 10-foot hole in the A gap, and he runs into someone. And it's like, oh yeah, Trent Richardson, like vision, like ball carrier vision in Madden is 0, and you kind of can't have that.
He stood out in the AAF though. He played for the Birmingham Iron. Went back to
He
Alabama.
Did, yeah.
But
he did, and played well.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I mean, he didn't get a shot back in the NFL apparently, even though I heard reports that he himself was saying that he had offers from the NFL. But okay, so you play in the AAF, but you don't want to go back to the NFL?
And you can't make the XFL?
Exactly.
Sounds weird.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of weird to me. I don't know.
Just wondering. That's a big name. You would think that would be on a team somewhere, but
yeah, there's a lot of names that I expected to see getting a shot here.
Terrell Pryor. Where's
these teams? Terrell, never seen again.
Yeah.
Remember Jake Coker? Is he still active? Does he still try to play?
I bet he's listed as a free agent still.
He was really solid in Alabama.
Yeah. A lot of these guys, I mean, doesn't it seem like you should take advantage of this? Because you're just sitting at home. You've been out in 1-2 seasons. You're still like, nope, I'm a free agent waiting for that call. Like, after a couple seasons, NFL. You're not getting that call. You need to go impress someone. So,
you need to go to some other league to make yourself to put yourself in the public eye again.
Kurt Warner did
these people, he did,
it worked
and
out.
he won 2 Super Bowls,
yes.
and he was incredible.
Yeah,
greatest show on turf, absolutely. That's when the Rams were in St. Louis, which is unforgivable, but now they're not anymore. So it's all fine. That's I think that's it for now. That's it for the week 1 XFL.
Yes.
It's gonna be really good. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Thank y'all for being here. Obviously, we'll see. We'll start the prediction competition. No bets, I think, so far. I don't think I want to bet anything, pizza or energy cans, because I frankly have no idea about any of those 4 games.
You could bet like how many of the week 1 starters are gonna start like at the end of the season.
That stuff you could bet, but I'm not even gonna try to do
because the projection is not a lot.
Because it's gonna be a good league. I'm definitely looking forward to this.
We could bet overall record, Battlehawks or Vipers.
Who has a better record?
Yeah.
Well,
of course I'm gonna.
I already embarrassed you so much with the Niners and Falcons thing in the NFL.
Hey.
I don't know if I want to do this again. I'm not very confident picking the Battlehawks, to be honest. I don't know. The Vipers are definitely heavily favored.
Hey, who won the?
I was gonna say, if I had to pick, I would pick the Vipers.
Though we did set the Falcons at 10 and the Niners at 8, and both of those were not even close. The way I picked them, they were way ahead.
Yeah. See, I was about to have to bring stuff up like that. I'm glad you brought that up for yourself.
But then we have insight there, and for this we have nothing. We have absolutely no idea, so I don't really want to do any bets right now. When we have seen a couple weeks, we might get back to that. We might do individual games, player performances. If I've seen the players, if I've scouted a little bit, then we'll do it. But right now, I think I just want to sit there as a fan and just watch the games and see how the system works, and it's probably going to be really fun. Yeah. So everyone who might not have heard of this, might not have considered it, but watches the scoreboard, highly recommend it. Watch the XFL this weekend. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be good. You can find all the game sketch at xfl.com. Definitely recommend it, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. So do you guys have anything to add to this for now?
Yeah, it's not like you're planning on doing anything until the combine anyway, so.
Correct, yeah. might as well watch some more football.
Exactly.
So, thank you for watching, everybody. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. We'll be back next week with the XFL recap and more predictions for week 2, which is going to be amazing. JJ's going to be there and Smokey, so turn back then. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe to Beyond Football and the Trash Talkers YouTube channel to get notified about those videos. And we're going to see you in the next one.
Doses.